Hi, NTCC family. Wow, what an amazing God we serve. This past Sunday, we preached about accepting one another and how we need to come alongside others in their time of need. Well, I didn't realize it, but Tuesday morning I was here earlier than usual. And while I was here, someone drove up thinking they could get in to vote here at the church. And so I went out on the carport and I caught the person and I said, "Hey, can I help you?" And they were saying, "Well, I was just wanting to vote." And then they started to share their story. And I started to listen. And this lady began to inform me that her husband was in bad health. He was in an Indianapolis hospital. That the past few days he's been really confused. And so as I listened to her story, I noticed that tears were streaming down her face. And that this lady had a tough time. And so when she finished her story, I asked her if I could pray with her. She was delighted to let me pray with her. So we just, out there on the carport, prayed for her and her spouse. Now, the reason I'm excited about that is that, I as I left her and she drove off, and I don't know what happened to her, it came over me that God had sent her, and she was that person we were challenged to be looking for in our world to come alongside and pray with this week. And I just praised God for that. And I just want to share, if you have a similar story, how God's working in your life, how He does something, it's incredible like that. We'd love for you to send those to us by email here to church, and it's just a way that we can just demonstrate how powerful our God is and how God is alive and working in our everyday environments. Now, we just have less than a week to vote, and I know there's been a lot of hoopla about the elections, but the New Testament does challenge us to fulfill our responsibilities to the government and to pray for our government leaders. And if you'd like to know more about that, I would encourage you to read Romans chapter 13. Paul gives a pretty good treatise there on how to take care and support our government. And with that being known, we need to be educated about the different issues. We need to understand the candidates. We need to exercise the privilege and the right to vote. And now, while all of us have different opinions about matters, God's very, in fact, that we treat one another with love. In fact, the Apostle Paul, when he's writing chapter 13, he leaves that whole idea of being a responsible citizen to government. And guess what he goes into? He goes into the topic of love. Listen to what he says. Don't run up debt except for the huge debt of love you owe each other. The debt not outstanding remain except for the debt of love. And so I just want to challenge you, go vote. And remember this, God's bigger than any political party. He's bigger than any election because the best is yet to come.